You know, paying the bills, balancing the checkbook, this is the humdrum of life. I mean, it's got to be done. Somebody's got to do it, and you got to kind of figure out your roles.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, this is one where, without even realizing it, we've all absorbed a way this should be done from what we saw modeled in our home. I mean, most of us can say, it was my dad, it was my mom, or my parents shared that. Rarely do parents share that, but sometimes they do.
Well, yeah, and if you ask a room full of engaged couples, you know, who's going to balance the books and pay the bills, they'll often say, we're going to do that together, and that's kind of the idealized perspective.
Yeah.
Turns out that
it doesn't happen as often. I mean, it's just the pragmatics of life. It's not that easy to even capture time and do stuff like that together. And so what do you do? What do you base it on? Do you base it on your personality? Do you base it on your skills? Do you base it on who has the most time for this, or, you know, has better computer skills?
Yes. That's what you base it on, these kinds of issues,
You have to sit down and work it out. And the funny thing is, you have to acknowledge there's an emotional component, because all of us absorb this certain role we thought we'd play. For some of us as women, we want the power to make that choice. Others of us don't feel taken care of if our husbands isn't willing to do it. And so we have to talk about the emotional side.
The most important thing to talk about is when neither one of you are paying the bills, right? Because in some couples, that's what happens. They didn't see that model. They expected the other person to do it, and so it becomes a real chore.
When those reminders come in the mail that they haven't paid the bills. I mean, we know a couple like that. They had to laugh and go, well, we're going to have to find a way to take ownership of this.
Right, exactly. Well, keep that in mind as you negotiate your roles on handling finances.